Main gaining is when you keep the same body composition, you eat at maintenance calories or around 5% surplus, still trying to train hard with progressive overload. I like to play with main gaining, knowing that my amount of muscle growth is going to be very slow, almost minuscule and discernible visually.
But how do you know you're not good for 2 kilos or perhaps 3 kilos?
I don't. It's a cope. Okay. Because I don't want to commit to the bulking process and what's associated with that in terms of, it's the main reason everyone wants to main gain, because they want the best of both worlds. They want to look good, but they don't want to lose the shape and the aesthetics and stuff. So on the surface, that's a very good point you've raised there about how do I know if 85 kilos is my genetic limit for being advanced without going onto a big bulk. I almost acknowledge the fact that there is more to gain, but the diminishing returns from going on a bigger bulk and getting to a higher body fat percentage with the cut that is required to gain maybe 500 grams of muscle is the reason why the idea of bulking for someone that's been training for 15 plus years isn't as exciting to me.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But for me, this maintenance, main gaining state, it's not overly difficult for me with sensible food choices, whole foods that are satiating, decent step count. I'd say average is around 7 to 8K, which isn't like I'm out there walking all day or having to add it beyond my lifestyle. Not food focused, sleep's fine, libido's fine, performance in the gym, slow, but trending upwards. Not like a bulked state when it comes to lifting weights, but it's not as if I'm under the illusion or fighting for team main gaining that if you're stage level leanness, you're going to be able to build muscle. You're just not in the net state of input versus output to be able to do that. But I want hope, man. I want hope for main gaining that if you're around that 10 to 12 plus a little bit more potentially, and you're sticking around that, if not the most minuscule of surplus, if you zoom out a kilo in several months or even half a year, and then trending upwards with your performance, I find it hard to believe that you're not going to gain any muscle, but you will do it very slowly. And to give an example of the merit of main gaining, just because I'm advanced doesn't mean I've tapped into dormant growth potential everywhere. Case in point, the last 2-3 years focusing more on bodybuilding, I did not do heavy deadlifts, heavy leg press. I didn't do isolated stuff for hamstrings, quads. Think of all that muscle mass there that's got potential for growth. I didn't isolate arms really.
You're probably more advanced in some areas than others. I'll put it that way. Like so. And this is true of most people. Let's say someone's a bench bro, they maybe a pro as well. They might have an advanced chest, but they might be lacking or lagging in some areas. Maybe they have suspiciously beginner looking calves because they just never trained it. So muscle growth is sort of a local phenomenon, which is where I almost think that the concepts of beginner and intermediate and advanced, you have to break it down by location, right? Because someone, maybe they're doing calisthenics a lot and they have advanced lats, right? Because they've been doing a ton of vertical pulls, but maybe their thickness is like late intermediate or something.
Because the row isn't conventionally overloaded. You don't see people doing inverted rows with added plates. They tend to just
Exactly. For the lower body, calisthenics, there's a lot of areas where it's just not.
Oh, we're skipping leg day and or we're not really doing it with full vigor, as you've seen. For me, what helps with being in this state is measuring weights daily, take a weekly average, and then make adjustments weekly. Takes out the neuroticism, the all-consuming aspect of counting calories, pros and cons to, eating intuitively versus tracking calories. The tracking calories is great if you've got no idea what's in any of your main foods. Good to get an idea of overall protein intake. You need the delusion. This is how I frame it in my own mind. I'm at maintenance, but there's a chance.
Tell me there's a chance.
There's a chance that I might be building some muscle. In other news, I've got you a gift. I want you to click below to download my free full body calisthenics workout. I'll teach you how to get big and strong with old school bodyweight training.